Welcome everyone to the Rivals Racing Week broadcast of the RRL Offline Championship Series Season 1 from Bristol Motor Speedway for the Food City 125. We're about to get the command to fire engines, then we'll give you the starting lineup.
Drivers, start your engines!
Trevor Bain is looking to bounce back from an abysmal race at Atlanta as he starts on pole. Alongside him will be Kyle Busch in the 18.
Then at row number 2, we got Casey Kane and Mr. Hart from Menard himself in row 2.
LT, can you try to sound a little bit more alive? That'd
I'm
be great.
sorry, I've had a long day. We got Casey Kane and Paul Menard in row 2.
Then we have Jeff Gordon and David Gilliland in row 3.
Then we have Brian Vickers and Marcos Ambrose in row 4.
Okay, hang on, hold up. I'm going to just go through the starting lineup here, look for your favorite driver. I just got to take a look here. The lights are off on the pace car, and the outside lane is not here. I repeat, the outside lane is not here.
I've,
This is already not off to a good start. Off for the corner, into the restart zone. Green flag is out at Bristol.
they're already like 3 wide back there.
Yeah, I think I saw Kevin Conway was having problems.
Looked like David Reagan.
Menard around the outside.
Oh
It's a
my
huge
God,
lead.
Menard is just gone already.
Gilliland around the outside as well.
David Gillen's had a horrible start to the season. He's been down the pits, been caught up in almost every single wreck, I feel like.
Is this?
Kyle
Busch started second. That's why the outside lane didn't go. Kyle
What
Busch,
happened Kyle
problems.
Busch? Problems already.
He's just trying to stay on the lead lap. Mr. Hard for Menard out front, but we got David Gilliland right behind him. Then we have the Aussie Marcus Ambrose, and then pole sitter David. Oh, Dave, I'm retarded. Sorry, Trevor Bain. David Rudeman, who fell from grace last week at Atlanta's up here, and is this the first time I've talked about Dale Jr. all season?
I think it is.
Well,
Besides,
congratulations to him.
actually, no, second time. Those times when he hooked Andy Lally at Daytona and caused him a big wreck.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he sent Andy Lally to the hospital after he tumbled on the bike straight away.
Battle for second here is why is Paul Menard just pulling over?
I have no idea.
He just let the 34 go around him.
Does he have a problem?
It's the only thing I can think of. He's losing ground quickly, but now it seems like he's up to speed. That's
I wonder
weird.
What happened to Kyle Busch? What happened to that 18 team? Because he's out there rolling. He never went to the pits. He just dropped from second.
Maybe he couldn't get the engine fired.
Maybe.
Either way, he is lapping half a second slower, than race leader David Gilliland, so they're most likely going to run him down very quickly.
You know, when I signed up for this race to commentate this race with you, I thought it was going to be a caution on lap 2, but I'm surprised we're on lap 8. We got some nice green flag racing here.
Yep, and we got a good battle for the lead. Paul Menard right behind David Gilliland.
Great battle for the league, and then you got Marcos Ambrose back there looking.
We still have a very, very, very long way to go here in today's race.
And the pace car's out, caution's out.
Yep, caution is out. Oh, there's a wreck on the backstretch. Oh, Kozlowski and David Reagan involved here as we have an early caution here at Bristol. Let's take a look. You had just mentioned how we were going caution-free. Let's take a look at what happened here. So it looks like David Reagan on the bottom lane. Oh, and his teammate Carl Edwards turns him. Oh, and hard hit for Brad Kozlowski. Carl Edwards gets hit again, but that was not a very big incident.
No, surprisingly. A couple of big names back there that's been doing good this season. Andy Lally was doing pretty good in the first, I want to say 3 races of the season. It kind of just slowly fell back ever since then.
Well, except for the time he flipped at Daytona.
Well, yeah.
I feel like that was a trouble spot for him.
It was. But he also was doing good, especially when he sent Logano into the turn 1 grandstand. Or was turn 3 grandstands at Langley.
I think it was turn 3.
Yeah, it was. When he just drove all the way at the grass. Not a big incident here. I would have thought it would have been a lot more cars involved, but I would say they can continue going, but Kozlowski did take a hard hit to the inside wall.
Speaking of Brad Kozlowski, let's go on board with the number 2.
Let's see what happened here. Oh, that's a hard hit right there. any clips in number 99.
Take a couple more angles of this. I saw Stephen Wallace on the apron getting around this one.
Let's see if Stephen Wallace got through this mess. Wow, just missed a 6 car. It's spinning and it's spinning.
Apologize, one moment. Having broadcast difficulties here.
Who's calling you?
You can hear that? I'm not sure why I was getting a call. Apologize about that, everyone.
You know, Stephen Wallace, he went through that crash like he was like a racer. You know what I mean?
Well, aren't they all?
I just went through a walkthrough. I can already see people in the comment section telling you to fire me already. I would blame him neither. Oh, the pace car just almost nailed everybody.
Well, the pace car does know how to phase through drivers, so.
Can we get a speedometer on how fast that pace car? I mean, that pace car was moving through the field right there. I mean, pace car. Oh,
Okay, well, I almost missed the green flag. My bad there. Well, Brad Keselowski's going to line up on the inside of the leaders as a lap car. Looks like Kyle Busch got the break he needed to stay on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air.
now will Keselowski hold up everybody? That's the
I
question.
doubt it. The question's going to be, how are they going to get a... Okay, yeah, they got around him pretty fine. And now everybody right back to the bottom.
Right behind the 2 car. He's not incredibly slow.
Except now Rudiman to the outside of the 21, and he is rolling up there.
Yeah, it's not like right now, all lanes are pretty good. You can run the top, and you can run the bottom. Oh, David Reagan, I think, is down pit road.
Yeah, he had major trouble with his car.
Oh, I don't know why I thought he was up here in the front. Excuse me about that.
We're going to have to talk about that contract after this.
For some reason, I thought he was leading the race for whatever reason.
Well, there is another David out front, and he's just as irrelevant. Yes, I said that right. Any David Gillen fans out there get roasted. Anyway, Paul Menard battling for the lead. We have quite the cast up here in the top 5. David Gillen, Paul Menard, Marcus Ambrose, AJ Allmendinger, and then Trevor Bayne. And then it continues with Rudiman and Vickers. Man,
Honestly,
what a cast of characters out front here in
AJ
Bristol.
Allmendinger is like trying to turn the season around. Like, for the first, 5 races, it's just been horrible for the 43 team.
He had a decent Atlanta, but now he's up here running 4th.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like all the races leading up to Atlanta, it's just been pretty bad for him. But now, they're trying to turn it around here for the 43 team. It'd be a shocker if we see him climb up to the top of the points.
We still have a very long way to go, but these 4 seem pretty equal. Trevor Bayne stuck behind the 6. Can't really make any headway there, as now it looks like we've got a battle here. 43 trying around the outside of Marcus Ambrose, and he'll make it work.
Power around the 9 car.
It almost seems like if you're running the bottom on your own, you're fine. But if you have a car on your outside, you just cannot put the power down.
You gotta think that some of these cars might be getting really loose when someone gets in a high line of them. Because I mean, the 43 just zoomed past the 9 car.
Yeah, and he's ready to make a pass on Paul Menard too. He is there. AJ Allmendinger's ready to get his season turned around in a hurry.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he is out here just showing everybody what he is made out of.
So we have 100 laps to go here. Very, very long race ahead of us.
A very long race.
See, the leaders are still, how far ahead? They're about half the track behind the lap traffic. But that's where this race is really going to get interesting, is once these drivers start making it into the lap traffic, this race will get a heck of a lot more interesting.
I get this feeling that one of these is going to take it 5 wide with the lap cars, and there's going to be a massive wreck.
That is possible.
I
So we
mean,
have
we
Gil.
saw what happened at Langley when they went like 6 wide on the back straightaway.
Well, yes, but they did that every lap.
Well, I know, but I'm talking like actual, 6 wide pass, not 6 wide pace lap or them starting the race.
That is
Because
true.
NASCAR cannot get the order right on that. I'm just glad we got some short track racing that isn't a wreck fest.
Yep.
Some great short track racing. The 43 cars trying to still get past Menard back there.
He just can't quite seem to get him, but now he's starting to look to the outside. I think the goal for him has to be maybe run a little higher, get a run off the corner. Did he just give Menard a bump going off in there?
Think so.
He is all over the back of the 27. And this has drawn his Richard Petty Motorsports teammate, Marcus Ambrose, in there. But how about RPM? Running third and fourth right now. It's a big turnaround of their season.
Yeah, big turnaround. Marcus Ambrose is one of the dominant cars at Daytona. It's been pretty good so far in the season, but his teammate in the 43 on the other hand, it's not looking too great for him. To Atlanta
Yeah.
and Bristol.
Now the 43 looking to the inside now. The 9 of Ambrose trying to get a run off the outside, and looks like Allmendinger's just going to let him have it here.
You know, I'm gonna let the 9 car go.
Ambrose with a big run up to the back of the 27. As meanwhile, David Gillen really looking to turn his season around today at Bristol. He is leading by quite a big margin over Paul Menard. And then look at the gap they have put on 5th place, David Rudiman.
Yeah, they are gone.
Oh, and look at the lap traffic here. Denny Hamlin is just now exiting turn 2, and Gillen's going through the corner, so they can see the lap traffic ahead of them. What do you think is going to be the most interesting thing of this race when they reach traffic?
You know, I think the most interesting is how well the leader can navigate, because if the leader gets stuck behind someone, second, third, and fourth is so close that if the leader makes any mistake or gets held up the slightest bit, they're going to be right on his back bumper.
Yep. We still have a very long way to go. One thing I've noticed is you've seen David Gillen just did it there. Menard did it a lap before, and it's costing them a lot of time. It's like the exit of turn 4 seems to be really slippery for some of these drivers.
Yeah, they veer down to the bottom on the straightaway.
I think they
So
must be getting loose.
Yeah, they must be having to save the car.
Remember, at Bristol, they didn't repave the racetrack to have the bottom lane work properly. They put down the PJ1 traction compound on the bottom, which I imagine will start to wear out as the day goes on, but sometimes the tires will become degripped, you could say, because the compound, and it could cause you to get loose. So I think that's what Gillen experienced, and that's what evaporated his lead so quickly.
Yeah, Menard is there along with the 9. And the 43,
The 43.
is trying to roll back in there. Well, I wasn't saying the 43, but he isn't really as close as the 9 to the 27 car.
Menard all over the back of the 37. 37 going to block the bottom, as meanwhile it looks like, is that a pass here? Yes, it is. Around the outside goes Allmendinger. Seems like the teammates playing nice with each other this early in the race. Not really putting up much of a battle. But here comes the lap traffic. You can see here a 15.4 that time by for the 35. 0.4 of a second faster than Carl Edwards. So the lap cars are just right in front of the leaders at this point. They'll catch them in about 10 laps. And these two about to trade positions off again. Oh, and Ambrose this time, big run around the outside. And I think Menard's going to try the outside of Gillen. And he does. To the top spot goes Menard, and now the 37 is going to get 34, sorry, he's going to get freight train here. The 9's going to go around him on the outside. And the 43 is going to do it as well.
Now, how hard would the 9 be for the 27 of Menard as he tried to... I just realized what I said.
Well, aren't we all? Anyway, battle here for second place. Rudiman has clawed his way back into this, but the 34 Went from first to fourth. Felt like a rock.
Yeah. Still falling too. He doesn't seem as fast as he was. Speaking of being fast, Carl Edwards is another guy that's not had a great start to this season.
Not at all. And now he has damage this race. Not looking good for him. You can see the 71 of Lally really not doing all that well.
Yeah, Andy Lally has fell off the face of the earth over these past races. At first he was like always in the front, but he has fell off the face of the earth.
Ambrose is really struggling off of 4. This is about 3 or 4 laps in a row I've seen him getting loose off the corner. See if he gets loose again. No, he holds it on pretty well this turn. Coming around this time by, it'll be 75 laps to go. We've gone through quite a bit of this race already.
Someone was down pit road, and I'm not sure who that is. I saw somebody.
As Paul Menard is just about to reach lap traffic as the 43 has moved past his teammate to get into second place. But it is still quite the gap to the race leader.
Paul Menard's catching up lap traffic, so that will allow the 43 car to reel him in a little more.
The question's going to be, we see how dominant the bottom is in single car runs, but how the outside's able to really just power around and keep somebody on the inside from getting to the throttle. It's going to be interesting to see with the lap traffic because, I mean, would they rather pass around the outside or would they rather pass around the bottom? And will the lap cars give them the preferred lane?
That's a good question because right here you got to race for your lap. It isn't no free passes or anything, so how hard would a lap cars fight to stay on the lead lap?
And we know how much of a risk a caution is at any point around this half mile, so there really is no reason to not fight to keep your lap. Oh, and here we go. 27's already having to check up for the lap cars, and here comes Allmendinger.
This is exactly what AJ wants to see. Want to see that 27 car get held up.
Menard trying to get a run off the top to get around some of this lap traffic, but he just can't do it. Oh, and now here comes the 43 with a run. Menard, is he going to go to the outside? No, he's not. Now here comes Allmendinger to the bottom.
As
Can't
Marcus
make it work.
Ambrose as well.
Yeah, Ambrose is going to go around his teammate as Andy Lally is going to get past. Oh, but Ambrose can't get around him. So now Menard has a buffer between him and the Richard Petty Motorsports cars.
David Gilliland and David Rudiman's also starting to close the gap on 9 and 43.
Yeah, and then from there on back, there's no one even close to the leaders. Now there's 2 lap cars. Oh, never mind. The 9 has gotten around the 71. Now he'll look to try to get around Denny Hamlin in the number 11.
You know, I see a person up here. Clem Boyer, he won at Langley, but ever since then, he's just fallen off the face of everybody. He's been quiet. We haven't really talked about him much since he won at Langley.
Yeah, now he's running 33rd. Not a very good spot for him at all.
Just Travis Quaffle, last week's winner at Atlanta.
65 laps to go here. We're almost halfway.
Laps tick by fast here at Bristol.
Yep.
So definitely see why you would want to be out front, put your car out front in the event this race runs all the way green.
Oh, the 11 back underneath the 27. Not going to work. It's now the 71 has actually gotten back around the 9.
Andy Lally wants his lap back.
Now this same race, except it'll be under the lights, is going to be the penultimate race of the season. So with great runs here from Menard, Ambrose, and Allmendinger, Gillen, and Rudiman, it's going to be interesting to see how they fare and how close they are towards the championship lead further towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how certain drivers do at tracks that we visit twice and see how they do there the second time we go there.
Paul Menard is... Oh, man, is Andy Lally going to take his lap back? No, not quite. We look here, the 43 is making up positions, or he's passing the lap cars, I should say. But now he's held up behind the 38, and here comes his teammate rocketing around him on the outside. Can Ambrose get the run off to get to his teammate? We'll see. Not quite. Both are going to... Ambrose is going to stay on the top. This might give him a big run. Yes, it will. Ambrose around him. Well, we are now halfway through this race, LT. So you know what time it is. Time to make our predictions. Who you pick as your race winner and your underdog?
Well, I'm not gonna go with the obvious choice or like the lame choice. So I'm gonna go with AJ Allmendinger. You know, he's had a horrible start to the season. Like, it's been rough for that 43 team. But what better way to turn the team, or what better way to turn their season around is to run good and get a win. So I'm picking that 43 car. That 43 car is gonna end up in victory lane today.
All right, well, I guess I won't go with the obvious either. I'm going to go with David Rudiman. He's going to get that redemption from the just tumble he took from starting on pole at Atlanta. And I think that he's going to go out here and he's going to get himself a dub here at Bristol. Who's your underdog?
My underdog, David Gillen. I mean, he ran so great early on. I feel like if he's able to put that number 34 machine back out front again, he could hold on and run away with it to the end of this thing.
All right, well, I had to scroll through the field here a little bit to make sure that he was running still okay. I saw him earlier in the race and just wanted to check that he was still close to the top 10. I'm going to go my underdog pick with Kevin Harvick. It'll be interesting to see how far he's able to work his way up through the field, especially if we get a caution or something like that. But he's running just on the outside of the top 10. And while I wouldn't say Harvick's putting together a championship season, he's definitely been putting together some solid runs. And he's once again running just around the outskirts of the top 10 here today at Bristol. If he can keep this up, he'll probably end up near the top of the points board, especially if he can avoid all the chaos that usually happens during these races. It's back up front, Menard continuing to lead. He has about how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 lap cars between him and the rest of the field. So AJ Allmendinger's got to start making some quick work of this traffic if he wants any shot at catching Paul Menard. But Menard is quite a ways ahead of these the rest of the field here, as the nine's about to boot his teammate out of the way.
Yeah, 9 is all over the back bumper of that 43 car.
Let's go ahead and do a good old crank it up as we near the end of this race.
I'm not sure if I have radio issues with Taylor. I'm not sure if he's talking right now, but if he's been talking this whole time, we can not hear you.
Yep. I believe that my microphone was having problems. Sorry about that, everyone. Um, I muted my headset for the crank it up, and I forgot to re-enable it. That is my bad. I'm sorry. But we have just under 35 laps to go here at Bristol. The 9 of Marcus Ambrose has moved into second place, but he still has quite a ways to go, just about a straightaway to catch Paul Menard. And Menard is now really working his way through lap traffic. Unless we get a caution, I think Menard probably has this one in hand. But what a commanding race this has been so far for Paul Menard. He started up front, got the lead as he almost gets wrecked by Stephen Wallace there, but he got the lead early from David Gilliland, and now look at all the lap traffic he is in time he has put between himself and Marcus Ambrose as well as the other drivers, which is a bit strange. I mean, I knew lap traffic was going to play a factor, but it didn't really seem like Menard had that much of a better car than the rest of the field to drive away to this distance. But LT, as we're
Yeah,
nearing the end of this race, what are your thoughts?
well, surprisingly, it's been a relatively clean green race. But my thoughts, as long as we don't get a caution, that 27 seems like he's gonna end up in victory lane. But there's a lot of occasions where there's been a late race caution. Like for instance, last week it wasn't a late race, but it was
No,
a
it
caution
was.
at
It
the
was only a
end.
couple laps to go, and they restarted. I think it was six.
Yeah, I think it was, and then a auto club we had a late caution. So looking at it, we come into 27 to go right now. Yeah,
Yes.
27 laps to go.
So Paul
Well,
Menard has quite a big lead. Here's the interesting thing. Unless they make it to 10 laps to go, if we have a caution between now and 10 laps to go, the lead lap cars will line up on the outside, and the lap down cars will line up on the inside. Now, the interesting thing about that is if a caution comes out, that would put all of the lead lap cars right behind Paul Menard. So, this is not over yet. If we have a caution, things could get very, very interesting in a hurry.
yes, it can get extremely interesting.
But with only 25 to go, this race is locked up if we do not have a caution and Paul Menard does not have some sort of major mechanical failure. Um, Although one thing I will mention, the fuel mileage game, they can make it about 125 laps on the fuel they start the race with. That is a problem because the race is 125 laps long. So for drivers such as Paul Menard that have been out here just pushing it, not only are they running the fuel to the end, they're running their tires to the end as well. LT, do you think that they might have any problems with that?
Well, you can definitely take it from Jeff Burton last week. I mean, Jeff Burton dominated the race as Paul Menard is right now and hit the pit. So Paul Menard's out here giving it all the car can do and just pushing it as hard as he can. He definitely might fall in one of the categories where he's going to have to worry about tires and fuel.
So we're really getting towards the end. 21 to go when they cross the stripe. And look at just how big of a gap it is back to Rudiman, who has taken second place. Rudiman has been on a charge this build today.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about, well, David Ruderman, we haven't, he's been back there. He's fell, but he hasn't been able to get back. But sadly, right now it's looking like it's a little too late for David Rubin to be making it back to second if he wants any shot at a win. It's a little too late for
So
that.
yeah, I will mention, look at this, Jimmy Johnson. And remember I mentioned Kevin Harvick is my underdog pick. Harvick is up to seventh. Johnson's up to sixth. And they can still get up here to, oh, and
Oh,
Logano as an engine failure. Does not look like that's going to bring out a caution.
something I noticed. I think Carl Edwards has worked his way up to 18th, if I saw that correctly.
No, I believe that was like 38th or something.
Was it, or was it 18th? I'm confused.
Yeah, we'll check. 38th, yeah.
Oh, 38th. Never mind.
He
He's
is
like,
not having a fun time. He's just having an abysmal season for Carl Edwards. But we're nearing the end of this race. Barring a caution, Paul Menard. I mean, regardless of a caution, Menard's put on a clinic here. Whether we get a caution or not, he has absolutely dominated this race. And if we do not get a caution and he does not run out of fuel or blow a tire, which those two things are unlikely, Paul Menard just dominated this race. Absolutely dominated this race.
yeah, Paul Menard came out here and showed everyone who he was this race. I mean, he just drove away from everybody. Right now, he's by himself for a good amount of time until he catches 24. But Paul Menard just dominated this race. And now AJ Allmendinger back to second.
15 laps to go, and look at this. Jimmy Johnson is somehow in third, and Kevin Harvick is up to fourth. I mentioned Harvick when he was in 11th. This is what I'm talking about, a championship run for this 29 team. If you've noticed, they always seem to end up near the front at the end of one of these races, and recovering from 11th place to go all the way up here to fourth, and he still could realistically finish second. And if a caution comes out, I would not count him out as a contender for the win.
Along with Jimmy Johnson, I feel like we haven't talked about Jimmy Johnson at all this season, but he's running around up here in third.
Oh, Kevin Harvick about to get passed here by the 9 car to be put back to 4th position here. Oh, now he's going to get passed by the lap car of Carl Edwards. But yeah, we really have not talked at all about Jimmy Johnson. I mean, I think he had an incident early in the season that we mentioned him in, but other than that, he has not been at the front in one of these races. Hasn't really done anything notable. And coming to 11 laps to go here, Johnson up in 2nd place, putting in work. Or 3rd place, sorry. He's about to take 2nd, though. So he'll probably, he didn't look to the outside of the 43. He had a good opportunity to.
Johnson put on a nice, strong run here at Bristol.
Oh, now he's getting passed as Marcus Ambrose has come back to life here, looking to get back to 2nd if he can't win. Another driver I'll mention, back here, Trevor Bayne running 6th. Gilliland has fallen way back, but look at this. Casey Kane, 9th place, about to fall back to 10th, but still, what a great run that's been for that 4 car.
Yeah, Casey Kane dominated Gateway and had a heartbreak after Michael Waltrip snatched the win away from him.
At the last second, too, of the late race restart. So now you have the
heartbreak for that team.
under 10 laps to go. Allmendinger continues to hold 2nd. As now here comes Harvick looking to move up to 3rd as the 9's on the inside lane. Saw Johnson fall back. I think that, Harvick, not Harvick, sorry, but the 99 of Edwards almost dumped Clint Boyer here. Now, if we get a caution with 5 or less laps to go, the race will end under yellow. So this is the last lap that we could get a yellow flag and the race would still restart, even though it would be a 1-lap shootout.
So basically right now, Paul Menard just walked away with the win.
Yes, walked away with it. Practically no challenges. Johnson squeezes up next to the wall, and Trevor Bayne up to 3rd, I believe, is... Oh, and there's a wreck. The 36 had problems. I think we're still under green, though. Yes, we are. Still under green. We'll have to remind me, LT, to go back and take a look at what happened there after the race.
All
But
right.
there is a battle for 2nd. Kevin Harvick. Could he recover from 11th to 2nd? Gained quite a lot of points today, but he's going to have to battle AJ Allmendinger and Jimmy Johnson to do it. With 3 laps to go. Look at this as they battle. Look at Paul Menard. Where is he?
Where is
Jeez.
Paul Menard?
Let's look at this. He's hitting the start-finish line. Paul Menard to the white flag here. What a race this has been for this 27. Absolutely dominated.
Paul Menard just dominated this race. No questions asked. You can't even say that about Paul Menard.
Off the final corner, Paul Menard destroys the field here as AJ Allmendinger will hold off Harvick, Johnson, and the rest of the field to finish 2nd. Harvick will get 3rd. Johnson gets 4th, and I believe that's going to be Trevor Bayne. Did he get 4th? Did it update? No, he got 5th. But, man, what a win for Paul Menard. Before we discuss anything further, let me just go ahead and take a look at what happened to the 36. As I remember that he had a problem with just a few laps to go. Here, as he was running 31st, right in front of the race leaders. Well, not the race leaders, but the rest of the field. You can see 2nd, 3rd, all back there. Oh, he I wonder, did he run out of gas?
I don't know. He just pulled off the racetrack.
Remember, I made a mention that some drivers might be close on fuel or tires, and he might have had a problem.
He just pulled off the racetrack.
Here's a full look at the official race results here. I believe that's 21 cars in the lead lap. Palmenard lapped a lot of drivers. Jeez.
Logano and Regan Smith finished last.
Regan Smith with a gearbox failure. Regan Smith just had a bad season.
It's not even
But
been
what
that
a
bad.
race. Palmenard just absolutely dominates here in Bristol. What a great job he's done.
Trevor Bayne has regained the points lead as we look over there in the point standings.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. Trevor Baines regained the points lead over Martin Truex, who really was nowhere to be found, but we did see David Rudiman and Joe Nemechek up there in the top 10. Let's look
Jimmy
at this
Johnson
gain.
there? Because I feel like Jimmy Johnson, I feel like I haven't seen him up there in the points that much, but Jimmy Johnson's sitting in 8th in points right now.
Paul Menard has jumped up into, he's 149 points out of the lead. One thing I'd like to mention, look at this. Robbie Gordon's the highest driver in points this season who has won a race. So, man, these drivers, it seems like they're kind of a one and done. You know, they really haven't been able to win a race and do well on the points, but let's take a look at this. Let me see if I can find him. Here it is. Kevin Harvick right behind him, 16th in points, but driver I'd like to find is poor old Regan Smith, 28th. He's had so many great runs this season. Hasn't been able to really put it together.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to execute the finish, and now he's just been running like hasn't had too many good runs because at Atlanta we didn't really hear much of Regan Smith at all, and then Bristol finished last.
One thing I'd like to mention, look at this. Joey Logano, ironically, leads the field in most DNFs, but Regan Smith has the second most. But look at this. At laps led, Regan Smith is second, only to Paul Menard, who I think led all of his laps at Bristol. But just to show, Paul Menard has been near the front so far quite a bit this season. So, yeah, what a great job he has been doing. But he just can't really catch a break. Next week, I think this logo says it all. We're going to Iowa Speedway for the next race in the RRL Offline Championship. Well, we'll see you then, and it's going to be quite a chaotic race. But LT, what do you think are the biggest takeaways from this at the end of this race as the championship battle has started to take shape?
Well, I feel like a lot of teams might start like the panic might start to set in, like they have to run good because each race we move closer and closer to the championship. So I feel like now teams are going to really try to step up their game and improve performances to really get up there in the points because it's not going to be an easy task to be at the bottom of the points chart and have to climb up the points when it gets close to the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean we still have 14 races left, but I mean once again, like you said, you don't want to dig yourself a hole. There's still time to do something about it, but just don't really see it happening for anyone that's really far back. Although, for someone like Paul Menard, he just wanted a short track. Let's see what he can do in another short track at Iowa next week. This has been the RRL's broadcast of the Rivals Racing League Offline Championship Season 1 on NR 2003 from Bristol. We'll see you next time.